That's a really good question, and it's hard to say because, as you said, like he was abused by his father. There's no question he was physically and mentally and verbally abused. But a lot of people are, and they don't turn out to be murderers. But he also was sexually abused. He had trouble with his sexual identity from a very young age. His father was relentless when it came to berating him about that, and he was also sustained two very serious head injuries, which the experts say can damage a part of your brain that deals with empathy or impulse control. So add all these things together and you come up with a Gacy. But again, you have a lot of people in this world who have less, more traumatic things happen to them and they don't end up killing 33 boys.
Yeah, and you said what concerned you most was that he was not arrested sooner. Why wasn't he? And if investigators asked you where they should look for additional victims, where would you point them to?
Well, Gacy was out of town a lot during his killing spree. He was doing construction jobs, and I saw his business records, so that confirmed it. There's no question in my mind that when he was in rural Wisconsin or Pacific Northwest or Florida, that he was continuing his crime spree in those areas. And because we don't have a database from that time that was integrated, so that if he crossed the state line, nobody would have known that there were boys missing and tie them to Gacy. But if someone were to go back and look at those records and determine were there men and boys who went missing in those areas, perhaps we could tie more victims to Gacy. But again, so many years have gone by that I'm not sure that'll ever happen.
Right, and very quickly, do you think there are more serial killers now, or is it because we're just seeing more attention perhaps on true crime?
There are not. There are actually drastically fewer serial killers and fewer victims. I think we're just obsessed with it. We always have been with the Jack the Rippers of the world. We will always be obsessed with serial killers. And I think that it's really just because it's a news story and because people are just completely fascinated by the worst of the worst.
Yeah, they really are. Karen Conti, always great to talk to you.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you and your book as well. We appreciate you joining us this morning.
And the U.S.